Hello everyone and welcome to Sinful Gaming. I hope you're all doing well, I hope you're all staying safe, and most of all, I hope you're all fighting that war against the grey. Today's video, we're going to talk getting started with Warhammer Age of Sigmar, and we're once again taking a look at the Soulblight Gravelords, and in particular, the Vyrkos Dynasty. Now, we're going to take a look at the special rules that make Vyrkos special for a Soulblight Gravelords army, before looking at a couple of units we recommend to get started with for the faction. We'll then take a look at a couple of other units we recommend to expand upon after those first couple of initial purchases, and finally finish off the video with a little sample 1000 point army list for you to use as some inspiration for starting your own Vyrkos Dynasty army for the Soulblight Gravelords. And so with all of that said, the special rules for Vyrkos. We have the strength of the wolf is the pack. In the combat phase, after a friendly Vyrkos hero has fought for the first time in that phase, you can pick one friendly Vyrkos unit that has not yet fought in the combat phase, and that is within 3 inch of an enemy unit, and is wholly within 12 inch of the friendly Vyrkos hero you originally picked. That unit can fight immediately. Now there is a designer's note to go along with this. You can't pick a hero, then pick another hero, then pick another hero after this, and effectively chain heroes out. If you pick a hero, then pick another hero. Both heroes can certainly attack together, but the second hero will not trigger an additional unit, and another hero you can't chain it out effectively. Now, we also have an infamous lineage. This allows us to have a couple of different heroic actions that we can use instead of the regular ones available to our Vyrkos vampire heroes. No, just vampires. The first of these is Pack Alpha. We pick a friendly Vyrkos vampire hero, then pick one friendly Vyrkos Deadwalker unit within 12 inches of that hero and visible to them. You can add D3 models to that unit. Now, designers note, this ability does allow a friendly Vyrkos Deadwalkers unit to be taken above its maximum size. Now, there are a few things on this. I'm going to say it straight up. I reckon this will be FAQ'd, potentially to stop the corpse carts getting extra models to their unit because they can be taken above, their normal size. Corsagi Night Guard, I'm iffy on whether they're going to get FAQ'd. This is most likely going to work specifically for direwolves and for zombies, but it could work for the Corsagi Night Guard as well, which would be really interesting, but I just hold off, wait for the FAQ to come hit as soon as it is. And Corpse Carts, it's definitely getting FAQ'd on. Now, we do have the Kin of the Wolf ability as well. You pick a friendly Vyrkos Vampire hero, and if you do so, you add one unit of 10 direwolves to your force. This unit has to be set up wholly within 9 inch of that hero carrying out the heroic action, and must be 9 inch away from all enemy units as well. This direwolf cannot move in the following movement phase, so you can't move the unit later in the turn. So like any normal summon, you can't get a summon then move. But you cannot carry out this heroic action more than once per battle. But it does mean if you're playing Vyrkos and you've got a vampire in your force, you effectively will have a free 10 model unit of direwolves, which is, free 20 wounds worth of Deadwalker models. That's summonable as well. I think is a really solid special rule to have. And so, where to begin? But of course, with Belladama Volga, the first of the Vyrkos. She's an absolutely fantastic model to begin with. The best of all tactical rocks on her base here. But what Belladama is going to bring is a well-rounded character. Now, she does do a decent bit of damage in combat. 4 attacks, 3s and 3s, range 1 damage 2, and another 6 attacks at 4s and 4s, no range damage 1 from the lupine fangs and claws of her wolf companions. 9 wounds at that magic number, 4+ save there, bravery and movement 10 as well. Now, she is a war master, so if she's in your army, she'll always be your general, which is really cool. The wolves obviously count as mounts for her, and she's a 2-cast and unbind wizard. Now, she does have a few special rules on top of that as well. First of all, first of the Vyrkos, she adds 1 to casting, dispelling, and unbinding rolls for herself. In addition, if the unit is within 3 inch of any friendly direwolves, she can effectively palm off wounds to them that she would suffer on a 3+. Like all vampires, she has the Hunger, which allows her to heal some wounds after she does damage in combat. She's actually got 2 War Scroll spells. The first of these is Lycan Curse, a mortal wound damage dealing spell, but if you deal mortal wounds to a unit, you can actually set up a unit of direwolves with the mortal wounds dealt. And lastly, you have Under a Killing Moon, another spell she has is successfully cast until your next hero phase. If the modified hit roll for an attack made with a melee weapon by a Vyrkos unit wholly within range of the caster is 6, that attack scores 2 hits instead of 1. So some really cool ways to get some extra buffs in there for your force. Now, of course, if we are playing with Vyrkos, it's direwolves we're going to look at. These are the unit that are really going to sort of be, you know, the focal point of the army. And direwolves have a really good point to wound ratio. There's quite a bit of wounds on the table. Not to mention, you also want to pick a unit up because playing in Vyrkos, you're going to get a unit of 10 of these for free, and probably another unit as well, just off the fact you're taking Belladama there, as she's able to summon some more to the table for you. But direwolves themselves, they have a nice 10-inch move, 2 wounds, 5 up save, 2 attacks each, 4s and 4s, no random damage 1, but they also have the cool rule to be eligible to pile in and fight from 6-inch rather than 3. I mean, you don't always need to pile in. You can really sort of pick your fights nicely and get to fights that your opponent thinks you might otherwise not be able to. And so the cool thing about Vyrkos is they have a plethora of different named characters, and the first of these we're going to take a look at today is going to be Radakar the Beast. Now, you might recognize Radakar from the Cursed City board game. This is effectively the Radakar when he loses control. You've got the more controlled version of Radakar the Wolf in the Cursed City box set. This is the angry version of Radakar. Now, what Radakar here is going to bring is an absolute combat monster. 12 wounds on a 4-up save, movement 8, and bravery 10. Now, we have 2 different weapon profiles. Both of these are 6 attacks, 3s and 3s. One of them is rend 2 damage 2, the other one is rend 1 damage 2, so a lot of damage coming out of the model. It can run and still charge in the same turn. Call of the Hunt will, in the combat phase, if this unit made a charge move in the same turn, you can add 1 to your attacks characteristic of melee weapons used by Vyrkos summonable units while the whole within 12 inch of him, which is really nice. He's got hunger, he still is a vampire. Now, Unleashed Ferocity means if the unmodified hit roll for an attack with his Blood Slit Claws, which are the Rend 2 attacks, would ever roll a 6 to hit, it'll do 2 mortal wounds, and the attack sequence ends. Supernatural Reflexes mean you subtract 1 from hit and wound rolls for attacks that target this model, which is really, really cool. The minus to wound there on top of the hit is just really, really powerful. But the Beast Will Out is this unit cannot retreat. However, at the end of any phase, if any wounds or mortal wounds were allocated to this unit, all this unit is more than 12 inch from all enemy units, this unit can move up to d6 inches. So a really aggro piece for your force, but super, super fun to take. Next up, though, we have Ivia Volga. This is the brand new character coming out with the Soulblight Gravelords this time. She's another Vyrkos hero. Her big thing is she's going to enable you to get some damage in on monsters. So she has her Heirloom Axe, which is 3s and 3s, run 1 damage 2 with 5 attacks, and some attacks from her Needling Fangs of her friendly bats. The hunger there, like all vampires, Shrieking Swarm means if she's ever suffered a wound, the Needling Fangs of her bats will automatically go to 12, and she's also -1 to hit for attacks that target her. Behemoth's Bane is her big special rule though. If an enemy monster is within 3 inch of her, the unit counts as 10 models for the purposes of contesting objectives, so she counts as 10. But in addition, while the enemy monster is within 3 inch of her, their attacks characteristic of all their weapons will be 1. Now, 2 characters I think they've definitely got some interesting rules changes in the current book. First of all is Kritza the Rat Prince. Now, 6 wounds, 4 up save, he's a vampire, so he's got the hunger, he's got 5 attacks at 3s and 3s, rend 1 damage 2 on his Gnorblade. Now, he's got Scurrying Retreat, where in your combat phase, when you pick him to fight, he can instead retreat, but he also has the Verminous Court, where at the start of the combat phase, you can pick one enemy unit within an inch of this that has an artifact of power. On 3+, the artifact can no longer be used for the rest of the game. This combined with Scurrying Retreat. So effectively, at the start of the combat phase, he turns someone's artifact off, then picks to activate, and then retreats out of there as he just completely dismantles their weaponry. It can be a really interesting piece to bring to the table. And the other one is Lady Annika, the Thirsting Blade. Now, if you like the Cursed City set, she actually features as sort of the main sort of setting around where the Cursed City novel takes place, which is really cool. So, 6 wounds, 4 up save, 5 attacks, 3s and 3s, rend 1 damage 2. Same profile there as Kritza for the attack with her Blade Proboscian. Now, she's got the hunger, supernatural speed, she has a ward of 4+, and during deployment, she can be set up off the table and deploy anywhere on the table, 9 inch away from enemy units. But she also has the rule Kiss of the Blade Proboscian, where at the end of any phase, if any wounds caused by attacks made with this unit's Blade Proboscian in that hero phase were allocated to an enemy hero or monster, and that enemy unit has not been destroyed worse than the save characteristic of that unit by 1 for the rest of the game. So she can just go in and do a little stabby stab. She can potentially start lowering the save characteristic of hard to kill monsters. And so here we have our sample army list. Now, obviously, Vyrkos Dynasty, Soulblight Gravelords, Shai Shizam Mortal Rome. You could pick both of them fit really well into Vyrkos. But our grand strategy here is actually going to be one called Crimson Larder. This is one of the Soulblight Gravelords specific ones. And effectively how this works is all our enemy heroes must be killed at the end of the game, but we must, at least if we have any heroes left on the table, they can only be vampiric units. It doesn't require us actually to have any vampires on the table though, so as long as our opponent's heroes are dead, with the force we've got, considering we've only got vampire heroes, we will complete our grand strategy. Now we are 15 points under, so we've gone for a Triumph of Inspired. I think +1 a wound can be really, really useful on some of the units we have here. And to start off with, our general is going to be Belladama Volga. Now, you're going to note something interesting here, that a command trait and artifact of power are on Belladama. And this is because for the Vyrkos Dynasty, as it currently stands, you can equip your named units, your unique units, with both command traits and artifacts of power, which is really, really cool. It doesn't look like it would be a mistake to me because all the other ones don't allow you to do this. Specific to Vyrkos, so I'm pretty sure it's actually going to be a thing. So, command trait, we've gone for Spur Trackers. At the start of your hero phase, friendly Vyrkos Deadwalker units, which are Dire Wolves, wholly within 9 inches of the general, can make a normal move of up to 3 inches. This could be really useful to get some extra movement on the table. And we've also got the artifact of power, the Ulfinkani Phylactery. Now, this adds 1 to the ward rolls for Vyrkos summonable units for the purpose of the Deathless Minions battle traits while they're wholly within 9 inches of the bearer. This is really cool, can turn up a bunch of units. She's got a pretty decent sized base as well. And then lastly, she's also got a spell which she's gone for, Vile Transference, which effectively does mortal wounds to an enemy model, and you heal those wounds based on what you do to them. We'll then have Ivia Volga, the Outcast in the Force, and Radikar the Beast as well for a really good hitting piece. Battle line wise, 3 units of 10 Direwolves, and everything here is wrapped up in a battle regiment. Remembering Volga is under 10 wounds, so she counts as just a regular hero. So we've got Radikar the Beast as one of the parts of the battle regiment, and the other 2 fitting in the smaller hero slots. 985 out of 1,000, as mentioned, 1-drop force. 87 wounds on the table is really nice considering there are 60 wounds sitting there in those Direwolves. 30 wounds, 60 wounds. I was correct with 60 wounds. But if you've got some ideas on how to put a Vyrkos Dynasty army, if you've got some ideas on some of the other characters you're thinking of putting in force, let us know your thoughts down in the comments below. And so, that is the end of the video. We hope you all enjoyed it. If you did, please don't forget to leave a like and subscribe to the channel. And also, drop a comment down below letting us know what you enjoyed about the video. If you'd like to come chat more with me and the fantastic little community we have here at Sinful Gaming, we have a Discord server that's linked down in the video's description for you all to come join and hang out and hobby with us all. If you'd like to help support the channel, you can do so either by Patreon, YouTube members, or by grabbing some merch from Teespring or our Ko-fi store, all of which are linked down in the video's description. Also, there's some fantastic ways in a bunch of our videos, depending on what game system you're looking to get in. We have a bunch of affiliate codes linked down in the video's description of associated games and companies as well. And if you'd like to help support us via them, that would be greatly appreciated. As a special thank you to our Patreons and YouTube members, we'd like to give you all a shout out for your continued support. So thank you to our Patreons, Christian Weir, Soren, Kenny Lowe, Outer on Shot First, Andrew Bowen, Cure Dynamic, JJ Austrian, Average Wargamer, Domir, Mark Harvey, James Cater, Benjamin Suarez, Red Martin, Iron Grinch, Colorblind Magic, Grimscold, and Andy C. And to our YouTube members, Green Roots Gaming, Ronya Lockloric, The Johnny84, David Ellsworth, Wolfric Nick, Broken Chef, Ariana Edwards, Revenar, Pink Nico Fire, Robin Mankiller, Monty's Tabletop Terrain, Davis Weir, James Tillman, Gargamel196, and Disco. A massive thank you to all of you for your continued support. Lastly, a special thanks to Lady Witchfox Art, who does all the amazing artwork for the channel, to everyone who comes on and does all the battle reports and all of the podcasts with us as well, and indeed to everyone who helps make our Discord server a fantastic place to be for all hobbyists. Thank you once again for watching, everyone. Stay safe, stay well, and most of all, keep fighting that war against the Grey. Ciao for now.